Hi fellas, and welcome to this video introduction to the plugin Odyssey. My name is Elodie, and I'm going to explain anything you need to know to get started with Odyssey, a powerful 2D plugin for Unreal Engine. First of all, let's talk about hardware and specification to follow any other tutorials or lessons with Odyssey. For a comfortable experience, the recommended specifications of your computer should be as follows. As you can see, you can use Windows and macOS 13 and above, and for Linux users, well, I'm sorry buddies, but you'll have to choose one of the other OS. Note that this is just a recommendation. If you only have 32 GB of memory, if your CPU only is 2.4 GHz quad-core, or if you have a less powerful GPU, Unreal Engine and Odyssey will still work, but you will probably need in this situation to lower the performances of Unreal Engine. Don't worry, we will talk about this later. For your graphic tablets, any brand will work, but we will see in this video that Windows users will have to tick or untick a few parameters depending on their preferences. Before going any further, make sure you installed the drivers and plugged in the tablet according to the manufacturer's manual. If you have an iPad Pro, well, let us know if it works, and if you don't have a graphic tablet, you can still use a mouse, but the experience will be much less fun. Now, let's see quickly how to install Unreal Engine. To achieve the installation, you will need to create an Epic Games account, then you will have to install the Epic Games launcher. Once installed, you will have to go to the tab Unreal Engine, Library, and install Unreal Engine 5.7. Before starting with the installation process, I highly recommend you to go to the options and disable the following packages if you need to save space on your drive. Then, go grab yourself a drink while Unreal Engine downloads and installs on your computer. Okay, now that Unreal Engine 5.7 is installed, let's add Odyssey. Odyssey can be found on Fab, an impressive marketplace containing 3D characters, environments, musics, and plugins like Odyssey and many other ones. Use the search engine to find Odyssey, then add it to your library. After this step, you will have to go back in the tab Unreal Engine, Library, scroll down to find your Fab library, and, if necessary, use again the search engine to find Odyssey easily. Click on Install to Engine and select the engine to install Odyssey. If you get this message, it means that Odyssey is already installed on every compatible version of Unreal Engine, or it means you did not install a version of Unreal Engine that is compatible with Odyssey. Just a quick note about Odyssey updates. At Praxinos, we try to release frequent updates of Odyssey to either fix bugs or add new features. When an update is available, you will notice an exclamation mark here on the Epic Games launcher. Click on Install Plugin and click on Updates. Now, let's start Unreal Engine with Odyssey. The first time you will launch Unreal Engine, do not be surprised if it takes a moment. There are many elements to compile and calculate, but don't worry, next time it will be a little bit faster. After starting Unreal Engine, you will see the starter window in Unreal Engine 5.7. Thanks to this window, you will have access to many other training content. Let's create a new project by clicking here. Depending on the options you will enable or disable, you will see various templates, including the ones from Odyssey. If you don't see any Odyssey templates, it means the plugin was not properly installed, so you will have to go back to the previous step. I advise you to get started with Odyssey 2D Animation Full HD, as this is the most optimized project for potato computers. Leave the default configuration and, if necessary, change the project location and project name. Choose a rather short name that starts with letters and create your project. A few moments later, your project is ready. The last step from this tutorial is to check the compatibility with your graphic tablet. If you're on Mac, after making sure your tablet has been properly set up according to the manufacturer's manual, you will not have anything else to do. However, if your tablet is a pen display model, you might experience some troubles in the extending mode, especially if the tablet is not set as the main monitor. Make sure you change this in your system settings. If you are on Windows, you will have the choice between two API modes, Native and WinTab. Native is the default mode, and it will work properly if the following options are ticked. In your tablet drivers, make sure the option Windows Ink is enabled. If your tablet does not have this option, it usually means that it is enabled by default. In Windows settings, make sure your pen can be used as a mouse. The implementation of this setting depends on your OS version. Some tablets can use another API named WinTab. It used to be an API only available with Wacom tablets, but it can also be used in other brands, like ZenSlabs. WinTab delivers more accurate results than native, but is not granted with all tablets model. To use the WinTab API, go to Edit, Editor Preferences, use the search engine to type Stylus and switch to WinTab. It will be necessary then to restart your project. Then, open your tablet drivers and untick the Windows Ink option. Whatever the API you choose between native or WinTab, make sure you test the result in Odyssey. If the pressure does not work, you might switch to the other API. In a future update of Odyssey, this configuration might not be necessary anymore for Windows thanks to significant changes brought to Unreal Engine 5.7. However, at this point, I am not able to tell you what would be the steps, so just keep in mind it will probably change soon. And now let's talk about what you can do to improve the performances of Unreal Engine when working on a humble computer. Unreal Engine is a powerful software, and as you know, with great powers come great resources. If your computer does not match the recommended specifications, here are a few things you can change in your project. In Edit, Project Settings, you can use the search engine to disable lumen in global illumination and reflections. In the 3D viewport, you can lower the scalability. You can turn off any light, shadows, and effects by using the Unlit mode. You can also simply close the 3D viewport, but in this case, you will not be able to mix 2D and 3D animations. You will only be able to make 2D animations. Depending on your computer, you can also check many small things such as, are your GPU drivers up to date? Is your driver full? Make sure at least 20% of your drive is free. Are you sure your laptop is using the GPU and not a built-in chipset? What's the 3D environment you are currently working on? Are you sure it is optimized? Some scenes can be really expensive in terms of resources, especially because of the light complexity, the shadows complexity, the size of the textures, bad topology of the meshes, or the hugeness of the scene. So if you have any doubt, make sure you start with a 2D scene provided with Odyssey templates. Now you're ready to get started with Odyssey and Unreal Engine. Thank you for following this video and see you soon. Bye!